Hello, welcome to ECAS Cloud. In this video, we will understand the concept of endpoint. When you want to connect an instance with another instance, you usually use a NAT instance or a NAT gateway, especially when you want to connect a private instance with a public instance. However, there is another way we could connect two instances without internet connectivity from a NAT instance or a NAT gateway. So here we have created a VPC using a launch VPC wizard. Before that, we generate an elastic IP. We allocate an elastic IP, and then we launch a VPC wizard with a private and public subnet. And while we configure the VPC, we select the elastic IP and we launch a new VPC. In this case, I have launched my VPC in North Virginia. Then we create an IAM role where I have allowed EC2 to call AWS services on my behalf. So basically, I have allowed EC2 to access S3. And I have basically given a permission for Amazon S3 full access. So EC2 has full S3 access. From there on, I created two instances. One is Windows. Windows I launched in public, and Linux I launched in the private subnet. Once the instances are launched, I deleted the NAT gateway, which was providing the internet connectivity to my instances, and I created endpoint, and I attached the VPC, and also I created a root table here, a private root table, and the root table has the private subnet associated with it. And once I created the endpoint, I had the private root table connected with the endpoint. From there on, I launched my Windows instance and installed AWS CLI command line interface onto my Windows instance. And I connected my Linux instance, and when I connected my Linux instance onto my Windows instance, I run a command here. So I basically do cd and then say, for example, AWS S3 ls, and it will basically connect with my S3. So EC2 is connecting with my S3 and showing what buckets I've got in my S3. Similarly, in my Linux instance, which I've connected with my private Linux instance, which I have connected onto my Windows instance using the endpoint connectivity, we will see how it has access to the internet, but also connects with my AWS S3 bucket. And here you go, we have the result here. So without using a NAT instance or a NAT gateway, we have connected our private Linux instance onto the public Windows instance, and we have given both the instances the permission, an IAM role, to connect to the S3 on the command line here, over the command line here. And as you can see, the result is that EC2 is able to access S3 over VPC endpoint. Thank you.